Dating is exhausting because men want a girl who's low maintenance but still want her to look unreal, smell amazing, dress sexy, and never be moody. Like, pick a struggle.
First of all, your self-care should be your own responsibility, not something that depends on your partner, because you were doing it before you met him. Second, not every man wants his woman wearing 5 pounds of makeup. Splash some water on your face, and it all comes right off. Today we're going to look at feminists who paid a very high price for not needing men. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That's what keeps us going. Let's get started.
I'm seeing so many posts at the minute of men talking about the single women generation, mainly being like millennials and Gen X, and how they're so incredibly baffled by why there are so many single mums everywhere these days. And I can tell you exactly why. So if you are a man and you are wondering why that is, it is because of the way, some of it is because of the way the men and boys of our generation were parented. It was all very like, be a man, don't cry, don't feel your emotions, blah, blah, blah. Having lived through it, I know it's exactly how boys were treated. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, but the other thing is that women had to evolve to do everything. We do the women's work, the traditional women's work, the raising the home, raising the kids, raising the home, looking after the home, raising the kids, doing the food shop, like making sure everything like that is in order. But we had to evolve to do everything else as well. We predominantly earn more than men now. We have to go out to work while still doing all that stuff. So we've evolved to do everything they do except for produce sperm. We can't physically do that. If we could physically do that, we would be doing that as well, because that is how the world now works. We are not financially set up for one parent working like homes. I was brought up in a home where my mum didn't go to work until I was about 14. Like, that wasn't rare. Like, mums just didn't work. They did all the other shit that they had to do because that is a full-time job in itself. Men, however, have not evolved to do any of the women's work. Most. There are men that are aware, but I really, really, truly believe that most of those men came from single parent households. And I will forever stand on this hill. The reason there are so many single mums is because we had to evolve to do everything. Men, however, we are unrecognisable from our mother's generations. Men are very, very recognisable to their parents, to their father's generations. They go out, they play golf, they go out and they do their hobbies, they go to the pub after work. It is recognisable to a T of what their fathers did. And because the mothers were doing all the other stuff, now we're doing it. Oh, that is why there are so many single parent households. I'm telling you that. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, because I love this debate, but I will stand on a hill and I will say that until the day is dawn.
Here comes the woman who thinks she's self-sufficient but can't keep a relationship together for even 2 years. Do you know why there are so many single women and single mothers? The first reason is that she demands a man who does everything and excels at absolutely everything. That man doesn't exist. On top of that, she doesn't think she has to give anything in return because she assumes he's supposed to provide everything with no conditions and no reciprocity. That's exactly what leads her to becoming a single mother. The moment she realizes that being in a relationship comes with real responsibility, compromise, sacrifice, teamwork, she wants to run away. She wants to go back to how things used to feel, without the weight of a family on her shoulders. Then you see the pattern that never fails. The man she had children with and the stepfather, who comes later, are two completely different men. The stepfather is almost always the guy she never would have looked at before she had kids. Now her dating pool has shrunk, hypergamy doesn't have the same fuel anymore, and the guy she wouldn't have given the time of day is the one who ends up living in her house.
We need to talk about the ratio of attractive to unattractive people in San Diego, specifically males. Because when I'm on Hinge, like, what the fuck? There is maybe one remotely semi-attractive man like every 75 swipes. When I'm in public, like in real life, I never see one attractive male, maybe like once a year. But bad bitches, I see plenty of bad bitches. Like, is there just excess ugly men in San Diego and attractive women? Are there any cities in the US that have more attractive males? Because if there is, let me know, because I'll be moving there ASAP.
I don't know if this is just me, but I low-key want to meet Clavicular so he can tell me what I need to do to, like, look better. Like, he would give me, like, the best tips. I don't know, like, I low-key kind of want to meet him. Dating standards in Orange County are like so cooked now. Like if you're not a supermodel or have like literally $1 million in your bank account, like you're not finding someone here.
You want to end up with a bitchy woman. You want to know why? Men love bitches and men should love bitches because the girl that is a little bit mean, that is a little bit blunt, that is the woman that's going to hold herself to her standards and is going to hold you to her expectations. Men want to be challenged. That makes a man feel masculine when she pushes him, when she makes him feel like he's working for something or working towards something. He wants to feel challenged. Bitchy woman is a woman with self-respect. A woman with self-respect is not going to be flirting with everyone. Is not going to crave validation, but she's going to be closed off, which means she's not the kind of girl to just get with anyone. You want a bitchy woman, all right? She's not afraid of anyone. She's not afraid of anything. She's not afraid to say no. And that is it. You want a self-respecting woman at the end of the day. Just saying.
Hey, bro. What? Oh, my God!
Whenever I hear a woman call men ugly, I always remember one thing. We don't wear makeup. On top of that, a lot of women are superficial. They want the Chad, and after he dumps them, they go looking for the ugly guy or the beta provider. It's true that right now it's difficult for women to find a relationship in Los Angeles. Everyone there wants to be an influencer, a model, an actor, or have enough money to date her. The same thing happens in Miami. The competition is brutal because every day more beautiful and younger women show up. And remember this, a woman only makes things difficult for the man she isn't attracted to.
Women.
The way people act during custody court is actually disgusting to me, okay? Because what do you mean you're acting like I didn't carry this kid for 9 months? All of a sudden I'm doing a bad job because I don't love you anymore because you're a piece of shit. Because you're a piece of shit. A piece of shit. Then you're gonna punish my kids in spite of me. Okay, yeah. You deserve full custody. Yeah. Making my relationship with my kid difficult makes you such a good dad. Yep. The kid's gonna love you when they get older. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Leave. Do not stay for the kids. Break up the family, baby. Break it up. It's already broken. Someone commented on one of my videos and they were like, when I grew up, all I wanted was to see my mom laugh. Your kids want to see you happy. They want to see you laugh. They don't want to see you be miserable and fight with dad all the time. Do what you gotta do. Save up money and leave. Just leave. You will be so much happier and your babies will be so much happier when you can raise them in such a loving, happy environment with no yelling, no door slamming, nothing. You got this. I love you. Break up that damn family, okay? Bye. I miss the days when custody court favored the mom, okay? None of this 50-50 bullshit. Me and my daughter moved to Tennessee. I ended up getting engaged. I ended up having a baby in Tennessee. And when I called off my engagement, I was alone. I had no family. I moved back home to be closer to me and my daughter's family. Thought I could just take my son with me. It's like I'm a mom. I get full custody unless I'm a drug addict, right? That's how I thought it was. No, you gotta leave that baby right where they were born. If you're thinking about relocating, just make sure you factor that into it, because I didn't. And I ended up getting a shit deal. I can only see my kid 1 weekend out of the month. If that makes it hard, I'm a server. If you're a server, you know you can't just take off on the weekends. So now I barely see my kid. That's why I'm doing all these videos to talk about things that nobody talks about. I would have done things differently. If I would have known, I wouldn't have been able to take both my kids back home.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It's a reality that family courts tend to favor mothers over fathers. In this case, the father won custody. What she's feeling right now is exactly what every father feels when a court tells him he can only see his child once a month. Welcome to a man's world. But what really makes me laugh is when she says your child wants you to be happy. Your child wants stability. Your child wants a home with his father. But women constantly treat their own happiness as if it were automatically the child's happiness. Do you know how many women stole a bright future from their children because of that decision? Today, those children are struggling as adults simply because their mother couldn't honor her vows and take responsibility. If you don't believe me, look at the statistics. Nearly 50% of children in prison were raised by single mothers. What does that tell you?
Chivalry is dead, by the way.
Why would you say chivalry is dead?
Well, see, here's the thing, is I always see videos of, like, women on, like, a train or something, or a bus, and, like, all of the men are sitting and no one's gonna, like, stand up and let the woman sit there. Which is fine, okay? We did that ourselves. with the whole like feminist thing, you know? Men wanted to stop doing things like that when we were like, we're gonna be whatever they said they were gonna be. But
you know, what really bothers me about that clip is this underlying implication that men used to treat women so much better before feminism. And because women decided to fight for their rights, respect, independence, careers, financial freedom, and a voice, men somehow stopped being gentlemen because of that. The example that she uses is men not giving up their subway seats anymore, as if that proves that feminism ruined society or men being gentlemen. And I need people to think critically about the logic behind that argument, because it romanticizes a past that was never actually safe, fair, or kind to women in the first place. Yes, there were social expectations around chivalry, but women were also denied basic autonomy. Women couldn't open up bank accounts on their own for much of modern history. Women couldn't vote. Women were excluded from higher education, from leadership, from medicine, from science, from owning property independently in many cases. Marital rape wasn't even legally recognized for a horrifying amount of time. Domestic violence was literally normalized and hidden. Women were institutionalized for expressing any emotions, for resisting their husbands, for not fitting societal expectations. So when people talk about men used to treat women better or were more gentlemanlike, I need us to ask, better for who? Because politeness in public does not erase systemic inequality and oppression in private. And I think that this narrative is incredibly manipulative because it frames equality as something that women caused men to retaliate against. Like, well, women wanted all these rights, so now men don't have to respect them anymore. Do you hear how disturbing that actually sounds? If a man only treats women kindly when women are submissive, dependent, or beneath him socially, that's not respect. That is conditional courtesy tied to power dynamics. And I also reject the idea that feminism is something that makes women too masculine, something that makes them stand up in a subway, and because they want it to be so masculine, men don't have to give up their seats. Wanting equal opportunity, financial independence, bodily autonomy, I mean, the list goes on, representation, all of that is not masculinity. Those are human rights. And it's frustrating watching people reduce feminism down to whether a man opens a door or offers a subway seat, while ignoring the fact that feminism is the reason women can get online publicly and voice their opinions, build careers, make money online, and own businesses, vote, leave abusive marriages, access higher education, and exist as full people under the law, as human beings. And I think that people confuse aesthetics with morality, because society looks back at the past and imagines that it was more respectful because there were more stricter social manners. But manners do not equal equality. A man standing up when a woman enters the room during those times means very little if that same society believed that women were intellectually inferior, emotionally irrational, incapable of leadership, or obligated to tolerate mistreatment. Does it matter that a man would give up his seat if he thought that that woman was beneath him? You can absolutely believe in kindness, generosity, and consideration between men and women without blaming feminism for the decline of social etiquette. Those are two completely separate conversations. There are plenty of feminist men who are respectful, thoughtful, and kind, and there are plenty of deeply misogynistic men throughout history and even today who still follow gentlemanly etiquette publicly because social performance is not the same thing as genuine respect for women as human beings. So the truth is, women did not ruin men by asking to be treated equally. And if equality makes someone stop respecting women, then the problem was never feminism in the first place.
Do you know why more and more women are walking away from feminism? Because they're tired of listening to this endless talking from women who are stuck in the past. They already got the right to vote. They already have bank accounts. They already have access to education, business, and leadership. Everything they keep bringing up already exists. So tell me, what's missing in 2026? How many more years are they going to live off past victories without producing anything new? It's exactly like a politician who keeps talking about what he accomplished 40 years ago. Great, you did it. Now move on. And here's the painful truth. When a movement no longer has real battles to fight in the present, it invents enemies from the past to justify its own existence. Because the moment they stop talking about the past, they have to answer for the present. And the present condemns them. Women under this brand of radical feminism are poorer, lonelier than at any other point in modern history, in record numbers, and they receive less courtesy and consideration than their mothers did. That's not liberation. That's regression wrapped in the flag of progress. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are today's questions. Do you believe modern feminism still has real battles left to fight today, or is it living entirely off the victories of the past? Do you think the custody system is fair to fathers, or do family courts still favor mothers regardless of the facts? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Wall.